It's Thursday, May 21st. Today, plasma donation back in question. The family of a woman who died after donating plasma calls for a new investigation. Also today, Manitoba's largest drug bust, the Project Puma investigation. How many people were charged after a 2-year investigation into a sophisticated criminal network? Plus, changing clocks, why the province is asking you to help determine whether to end daylight saving time. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Ainsley is live with Habitat for Humanity. They've had quite a big year. In fact, one of the biggest build years ever here in Manitoba. So we're going to delve into that, find out how many homes were actually built, and introduce you to a family that just got a home as well. So we're going to have details on that. But the weather,
Did you wake up from the storms?
Well, it was raining when I went to bed. Okay. And then when I drove in, that's when the lightning show started. And then the rumbling started when I stepped through the door this morning at 4 a.m.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, no, I was hearing it for sure in the middle of the night, or I guess this morning. Yeah. I slept through what was making the noise last night, but then once I was up, I was hearing it, of course. Yeah, very active this morning as far as the storms go. And that will probably still continue for another little bit. Eventually, we'll see things clearing out. We'll get that sunshine back. The winds, you're going to notice them again this morning, though. Out of the east-southeast right now, they're gusting to 51 kilometers per hour. So some of that rain coming at you sideways, but 10 degrees is where we begin, and that is well above seasonal. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 75%. So yes, plenty of puddles out there that are forming and still forming. Here's a look at the satellite image, and you can see all of southern Manitoba with this much-needed rain. So we welcome it, and the fact that most of it fell overnight and then we'll clear out, giving us some sunshine today. That's some pretty decent timing, so big thanks to Mother Nature for that. Nobody's thanking her for those winds, though. Oof, back again, like I said. For northern Manitoba, beautiful, clear conditions for you. Expect to enjoy some sunshine today. We'll have to be a little more patient, but I think we will get some of that sunshine after this system moves through and pushes more so into central Manitoba. Again, welcoming some of that precipitation wherever it's headed. That will likely be where it hangs out through most of the afternoon and into the evening time. Pretty clear for us through the afternoon, even evening. Overnight, things are looking to be on the clearer side here in the south, and tomorrow morning we could be waking up to that sunshine once again. Not everybody will, though. Here through west central Manitoba, things will be quite active again. And while tomorrow we'll enjoy some sunshine, tomorrow night, Friday night into Saturday, another round of precipitation to come. Temperature-wise, though, things are looking good after today. 21 degrees is normal. We'll slip slightly with showers on Saturday. What was the for, Kim? This is spectacular. Look at these temperatures. 32 is now too hot. She's like Goldilocks in there, I tell you. She's got a window. It's a small one. Maybe this is right in her window. 21 degrees tomorrow with a little bit of sunshine.
Thank you, Terry. There are new questions about a 22-year-old woman who died after donating plasma in Winnipeg. A family representative has revealed the university student suffered sudden cardiac arrest. Her death was just one of 2 which took place in a matter of months at Grifols, a for-profit blood and plasma center. Both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner found no link between the deaths and the donations. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, advocates say the cause of death should prompt a new investigation.
Advocates are calling for a new investigation into the death of a woman who donated plasma in Winnipeg after they say her cause of death has been revealed.
There may have been multiple contributing factors to her death, and none of them are her fault.
Bloodwatch.org, a nonprofit group, says they are representing the family of 22-year-old Rodiat Alabidi. The international student died after donating plasma for money at this Grifols location on Taylor Avenue last October. Bloodwatch says an autopsy report shows Alabidi's cause of death was a sudden cardiac arrest due to dilated cardiomegaly, known as an enlarged heart.
The pressure and stress a plasma donation would put on a donor's heart with this condition would be profound.
There was a second death reported at this other Winnipeg location in January 2026. Both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner found no link between the deaths and the donations. But the advocates claim there are discrepancies in reporting, and because of the manner of death, there should be a new probe and a federal inquiry.
We want to see an independent and fulsome investigation into all the deaths connected to paid plasma in Manitoba.
In a statement, a Grifols spokesperson tells CTV News all assessments show no link to the donation process. The investigation found no evidence of a machine malfunction or staff error that contributed to the donor's serious adverse event. And Manitoba's health minister says they're not going to undermine the investigations that have already taken place.
When Health Canada and the Chief Medical Examiner come to effectively the same conclusion that these tragic deaths are not linked to plasma donation, I am absolutely going to respect that conclusion.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
CTV News reached out to Health Canada and the Chief Medical Examiner for comment. We have not yet heard back. Ottawa and BC will start talks on developing the province's economic priorities.
Developing our economy has to go hand in hand with environmental protection for the next generation, including the North Coast tanker ban.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and British Columbia Premier David Eby met in Vancouver yesterday. Premier Eby had criticized Ottawa earlier, saying Canada doesn't work if separatist premiers get all the attention. The Prime Minister pointed out that 1/3 of projects flagged as in the national interest are in BC. Speaking to a business crowd before the meeting, Prime Minister Carney said Ottawa wants partners.
We don't want to hear what people are against. We want to hear what they're for. And if you're for something, we will get behind you.
Prime Minister Carney also said if development in BC stalls, the government will spend more time elsewhere in the country. The U.S. Department of Justice has filed an indictment against former Cuban President Raul Castro over a fatal attack on 2 planes in 1996.
Charging Raul Castro and several others with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals.
5 co-defendants and the 94-year-old younger brother of Fidel Castro are also charged with the destruction of an aircraft and 4 additional counts of murder. 30 years ago, Cuban military jets shot down 2 civilian planes operated by Cuban exiles. 4 people were killed. Raul Castro was the Armed Forces Minister at the time. The charges come as the U.S. wraps up pressure on Cuba, even threatening military action. Prime Minister Mark Carney is condemning Israel's treatment of detained activists from a Gaza-bound flotilla.
Free Palestine!
Mark Carney called it unacceptable. His comments come after video surfaced showing the activists restrained with their wrists bound and foreheads lowered to the floor. According to Global Samud Canada, 12 Canadian activists are among this group. Flotilla organizers say their goal was to deliver aid to the Palestinian people and break what they call an illegal siege on the territory. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister is now formally summoning the Israeli ambassador to Ottawa, demanding guarantees for the safety and well-being of the detained Canadian citizens. There's a new plan for an historic building in Brandon.
They're pretty monumental in the Brandon scene.
Blackbird Housing has purchased the Mackenzie Seeds building along with its neighbor for $3.25 million. The plan is to create 130 residential units, each with sensors to detect falls and heart rate monitors, along with healthcare, support services, and common space intended for seniors. The $20 million project is a partnership between Blackbird and several technology companies, which are developing systems to help with the construction, including laser scanning.
What they do is create like a digital twin of the buildings to within millimeters of accuracy. So from there, we can, check the structural integrity of the building. That'll help with engineering reports.
Blackbird's president says the buildings have already been gutted during past projects that fell through. So much of the artifacts from Mackenzie Seeds is already gone. The exceptions are a spiral staircase to the clock and a concrete seed bin on the 7th floor, which are too difficult to remove. While there is no timeline for completion yet, Blackbird hopes to begin construction on the project by the end of the year. If you're attending the RBC Canadian Open this year, you should also check out Golf Canada's new Hall of Fame.
We have our archives, artifacts, film, photographs. Artifacts collection is anything from golf balls to golf equipment to medallions, medals, hats, trophies. You know, it really encompasses a lot of Canadian golf history.
TPC Toronto is now the home of the Canadian Golf Hall of Fame, as well as Golf Canada's headquarters. The Hall of Fame is spread out around the grounds, including the clubhouse, restaurants, villas, and locker rooms. It will all be open in time for this year's Canadian Open, which begins on June the 10th. Here's a look outside now at Confusion Corner. The streets are wet and filled with puddles, so be mindful of pedestrians when you head out this morning. And if you see any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is on site at the brand new Habitat for Humanity builds. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, it feels like a brand new build every time I'm here. We're on Pandora right now, a new build set for Panet as well. But they've got 35 people living here, 35 families, I should say. Largest build in Manitoba Habitat's history. Within the next couple weeks, they're going to have even more. And then by the end of it, 55 families. So throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting about corporate partnerships. It takes a lot to put something like this together. We're going to be chatting with the CEO, and if you're interested in volunteering, how you can get involved. But also we're going to be chatting with one of the families, because this is who it's about, how much it impacts not only our local economy, but also families and community as a whole.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. You need an umbrella out there right now because it's still raining.
Yeah, keeping one handy for now. Out at the airport, they actually are registering that the rain has tapered off. So I came out here thinking I wouldn't need it. I mean, I had it close at hand, but yeah, it is still raining a little bit, just lightly, but there's plenty of puddles out here, which we could still see growing. I mean, it's tapered off at the airport, but that doesn't mean it's done. There's still a fair bit of activity here through the southeast, so keep an umbrella close if you don't want to get wet, or at least a rain jacket with a hood, because those winds are likely to get strong again, even though they've for now tapered off. But that's probably right ahead of them shifting out of the east-northeast right now, 9 kilometers per hour. They're likely to end up out of the south and gusting to about 60 kilometers per hour throughout the day. So those winds are still expected to pick up. 10 degrees, so double digits to begin the morning is an above seasonal start. 7 would be a normal low, so we're doing okay right now. And actually we'll do okay with the gains that we'll make, headed up to a high of 21 degrees, which is normal for this time of year. Is it going to stay looking like this? I don't think so. We'll see this rain tapering off, then the clouds clearing out, increasing amounts of sunshine. Even with those increasing winds, we will get a little more sunshine and a little more warmth to enjoy. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Good morning. An unprecedented drug bust to tell you about in Manitoba, leading to dozens of arrests in a multi-province investigation. CTV's Alex Karpa on the value of the illicit material and how it ended up in Canada.
Police are calling it the largest drug bust in Manitoba history. More than 500 kilograms of illicit drugs, including meth and cocaine, were seized with an estimated street value of over $37 million. Police also seized 14 firearms, 7 vehicles, roughly $825,000 in cash, and 1.35 million illicit cigarettes.
Organized crime will not operate unchecked in this province, and we are not open for business to organized crime.
Police say 33 people have been arrested and were collectively charged with 174 drug trafficking related offenses.
The organization exerted significant influence over the distribution of illicit drugs across Manitoba and other provinces.
Investigators say the drugs were imported into Canada through commercial transport vehicles before being stored mainly in Alberta and Ontario. From there, police allege the drugs were moved into Manitoba through mail and courier services, commercial transport trucks, and private vehicles outfitted with hidden compartments.
The objective was not only to disrupt and dismantle these networks, but also to gather intelligence and evidence relating to the higher-level members of the organization.
The 2-year investigation involved several police agencies throughout 3 different provinces. Advocates say the seizure will have a significant impact on the drug trade.
That's a lot of drugs that aren't going to be sold on the streets. You know, so that's going to save lives. It reduces crime.
Police are currently seeking 2 additional individuals from Brantford, Ontario, who have warrants issued for their arrest. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A familiar mayoral candidate is tossing his hat in the ring once again.
I'm
I've waited 4 years for this moment.
Don Woodstock officially registered Wednesday as a candidate in Winnipeg's mayor's race. He's a familiar face on the civic campaign trail, having run for mayor previously in 2018 and 2022. Woodstock is campaigning on 8 main issues, including safety, homelessness, and Winnipeg transit. He says he's the right person to fix transit because he's the only candidate with experience as a bus operator.
It's an easy thing to talk. Very easy to talk about what you're going to do for transit, but unless you know, based on actual experience, everything that you're saying is literally amount to nonsense.
5 others have registered as mayoral candidates. The deadline to do so is September 22nd. Election day is Wednesday, October 28th. Ontario health officials say 1 person in the province is now being tested for Ebola.
Global Affairs Canada is not aware of any Canadians affected by the Ebola virus outbreak in the DRC or Uganda. Consular officials are standing ready to provide assistance to those who are requesting it.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Ottawa is closely monitoring the spread of the virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. The person in Ontario had just returned from East Africa and is now being tested in hospital. Meanwhile, an Air France flight from Paris to Detroit was diverted to Montreal yesterday after a passenger from the DRC was boarded in error. U.S. authorities barred the plane from entering the U.S., so the flight landed in Montreal instead. Officials say the passenger didn't have symptoms and was later flown back to Paris. If you have a strong opinion on daylight saving time, the province wants to hear from you. It's launching a survey to help determine whether to end the practice of changing clocks twice a year.
Times they are a-changing here in Manitoba, and we might stop changing our time. But which way should we go?
The survey asks whether Manitobans want to have a year-round standard time, daylight time, or just simply stick with the current system. Currently, the time moves 1 hour forward to daylight saving time in March and 1 hour back in November to standard time. Last month, the Premier said Manitoba is potentially eyeing the end of seasonal time change. The move would bring Manitoba in line with other prairie provinces. The survey also includes a report on the health impacts of the time change. It can be filled out online at engagemb.ca. An upcoming documentary is giving sports fans a deeper look at one of the greatest and most controversial soccer matches of all time.
Here in Mexico City, one of the most heated matches of this World Cup.
I could not believe they hadn't blown his whistle. How did the referee not see it? How has that happened?
Le dije, fue con la mano. Y me dijo, después te cuento Valdano.
That's a bad decision and very big match.
The match tells the story of the 1986 FIFA World Cup quarterfinal between England and Argentina. It uses archival footage from the match, features a number of the stars of the game, and looks at the simmering political tensions of the time, too. The match was played with fresh memories of the Falkland Islands War and also included Diego Maradona's infamous Hand of God goal. It will be in theaters later this year. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Balmoral Street will be closed from Ellis to Sargent Avenue. Following the rush, the eastbound median lane on Broadway will be closed from Edmonton to Donald Street. And on Dakota Street, one northbound lane will be closed between Nova Vista and Meadowood Drive. And we do have a traffic alert to give you here. Lights are flashing red for all directions on Inkster and McPhillips, so treat that as an all-way stop before proceeding into the intersection. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Ooh, some big fat raindrops on our camera. Maybe that'll wash some of the dust away from last week. We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, it's been dry. We needed this rain. How nice that it came in the overnight hours. Perhaps, though, some of you were woken up. It was a little loud at times. There you can see it's still quite active here in the southeast, but even off to the west of us as well. Maybe not quite as intense. I mean, we're still seeing some of those yellows and reds in parts of southeastern Manitoba, just a little bit to the north and east of Winnipeg right now. but all through the south. You can see that chance of showers is there, but then there's central and northern Manitoba, who are looking pretty dry. Maybe not for long, though. You will likely see that moving a little bit further into the north, into more of the central stretch for later on today. And then there is still the possibility into the evening time that southwestern Manitoba sees another round of this yet. We're likely to be in the clear with increasing amounts of sunshine. For northern Manitoba, beautiful sunny conditions as well. And waking up tomorrow morning to enjoy some of that sunshine, it'll be west central Manitoba getting hit with that precipitation. Now, eventually tomorrow night, we could be seeing another round again. So throughout the day tomorrow, we'll enjoy some sunshine. Tomorrow night into Saturday, another round of precipitation. Cooling temperatures down just a little bit for the start of the weekend, but warming things up again when that sunshine returns. And when it warms up, it'll be doing so in a very big way with those temperatures headed up around 30 degrees. What an incredible shot. My jaw dropped when I saw this. Thanks to Hayden, just in the Inwood areas where this one was snapped. Keep the photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Welcome back. Organized crime groups are targeting people with access to your luggage at Canada's largest airport. Here's what W5's Avery Haynes uncovered in an exclusive investigation.
When you go to the airport, you know the drill. Body scans, x-rays, and searches of your carry-on. But whistleblowers warn security needs to be tightened for the employees who have access to your bags and airplanes.
I've been stopped once in 20 years leaving, so if somebody gets a hold of something, they're gone with it.
Charles is a ramp worker at Pearson. He has a joke you might not find funny.
We say, yeah, you can walk out carrying a cruise missile and nobody even stop you.
Through court documents and police sources, we've identified a United Nations of organized crime groups operating at Pearson, using some airport workers to move drugs off planes and onto Toronto streets. Dieter Boheim is a retired police inspector who was also part of Toronto's airport intelligence unit.
People that work at the airport, there is corruption involved in getting the cocaine into Canadian borders.
The Canadian Air Transport Security Authority, CATSA, says screening employees leaving work is not part of their mandate, that screening happens at entry points. But we've identified issues there as well. We've documented at least 16 cases in the past year where corrupt employees have been able to get bags of drugs into secure areas at Pearson and then swap bag tags from innocent passengers.
What I don't understand is how they get it in.
Yan and Charlene in Winnipeg were detained at Pearson when a bag with 33 kilos of marijuana was discovered with Yan's tag attached to it.
These suitcases were huge. How would, like, a baggage handler get suitcases into the back? Because don't they go through security?
Yan was eventually released after showing this home surveillance video to prove the bag he checked looked nothing like the bag filled with drugs. Retired RCMP investigator Ulysses Botello worked for a unit called SIBS, the Security Intelligence Background Section. It was his job to weed out corrupt airport workers.
How big of a problem do you think corruption is at Canadian airports?
It's huge. And if we're unable to dampen that component that is facilitating organized crime, we're in big trouble.
In the last year, 6 ramp and baggage workers at Pearson have been arrested on bag tag switching charges. Avery Haynes, CTV News, Toronto.
Crowds have lined the streets of Kerala, India for a colorful parade. Not just any parade, an elephant parade. The annual parade sees colorfully decorated elephants paraded along with their human friends playing percussion instruments. Elephants are revered by people of the Hindu faith. The god Ganesha is worshipped as the god of knowledge, wisdom, and good fortune. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is spend. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter spend with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck.
We've seen a lot of activity overnight and through the morning of the rain coming down. You can still see more drops forming on the camera or splashing on our camera, maybe clearing some of that dirt. It's 10 degrees outside, so an above seasonal start to your day with light winds for now out of the east-northeast, just 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 75%. Those light winds for now, that is a nice change up because as far as the conditions go today, we could be seeing more of that. We're sitting at 10 degrees with some high single digits through parts of areas just to the west of us, and 7 degrees over in Kenora right now. But overall, when you compare this to what is normal, it's pretty close. I mean, Winnipeg, Morden Winkler area, slightly above because 7 is that normal low temperature. A little bit cooler over in the northwest, 4 degrees right now in Swan River, 1 in the Paw and in Island Lake, and then we're getting around the freezing mark or several degrees below, -8 at the moment over in the Churchill area, but very clear conditions across northern Manitoba, whereas it's been very active with those storms that passed through overnight. And still some storms. You can see the little lightning bolts firing off in areas just to the north and to the east of the city. We'll be seeing that shower activity tapering off this morning and that sky clearing out, making way for sunshine. 22 degrees is where we're headed this afternoon. That will be well, it'll be on par with what is normal for these temperatures. So things looking good for today. Maybe overnight into Saturday morning, another round of precipitation. But after that, plenty of sunshine, plenty of heat to come with it.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg fire crews were called out early this morning for a fire in a bus. Winnipeg police say the call came in at around 2 a.m. for a fire in a bus at the Forks. These images were captured during the incident by a CTV viewer. They appear to show a charter bus engulfed in flames. Police say they're investigating the blaze. CTV News has reached out to the city for more details. The City of Winnipeg wants you to weigh in on climate change and its impact on our community. The city says the likelihood of extreme weather events is increasing, and there's a growing need to cut pollution and use less energy. This is why the city says it's updating its climate action plan, and it wants your help. It launched an online survey to learn how residents are affected by the changing climate, as well as what it needs to do to lower emissions and protect the community and its infrastructure. You can fill out the survey on the city's website until June 28th. Different places, different risks. That's the headline of a Stats Canada report on breast cancer. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin looked at the data and the recommendations.
Patricia Russell calls Brampton, Ontario, home, and she's survived breast cancer twice. 2 diagnoses 13 years apart.
It just felt like a kick in the stomach when I was diagnosed. It was a high time in my life, and the doctor told me that you have the bad kind.
It's triple negative, an aggressive subtype. She says she received excellent care. A new study found geography tells the story when it comes to breast cancer risk, mortality, and experts say care. Statistics Canada found the incidence of breast cancer is highest in rural regions of Quebec, Ontario, and the prairies, but also in some urban centres with large immigrant and racialized populations. In contrast, fewer women face a diagnosis in large metropolitan centres like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, as well as in northern and remote regions.
Having access to data like this is really just so crucial for decision makers and policymakers to have a better understanding of where resources are really needed. So this really does bear out the fact that in many communities outside of the big urban centers, there is that lack of access to being able to book an easy appointment with for a mammogram.
The study also found where you live impacts the risk of dying from breast cancer differently. It's highest in rural eastern regions, lowest in large urban centers where there's better access to treatment and follow-up care. Russell is now doing well and a tireless advocate helping other women through a support group.
I'm very aware and I'm very conscious and passionate about educating, especially women in the Black community, because we tend to not take care of ourselves the way that we need to.
She's also pushing for removing as many barriers to care as possible, no matter where home is. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
A new study says 1 in 5 pregnant women in Ontario were not properly screened for syphilis. The disease can be fatal when passed from mother to baby. Data was examined for more than 550,000 pregnancies in the province between 2018 and 2023. It found more than 44,000 pregnant women were not screened for syphilis with a blood test when they should have been. This should happen in the first trimester or at the initial prenatal visit, because the sooner the preventable disease is diagnosed and treated in pregnancy, the less chance there is of adverse outcomes. The data is published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal. Toronto's police chief has spoken publicly for the first time about 3 off-duty officers who were charged in Spain.
As chief, what I'm focused on is making sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to hold those members to account and to support the work that the Spanish police have done.
Reports say the 3 officers were charged on allegations of sexual assault and assault. Chief Myron Demkew confirmed they are all now back in Canada and suspended with pay. This alleged incident in Spain comes on the heels of Project South, a police corruption investigation. Several Toronto police officers are facing charges in connection to that probe. Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow says Chief Demkew has quite a bit of work to do to restore public trust. A wild burglar broke into a house in Quebec, much to the surprise of those who were home at the time. A moose broke through a window to get inside. The animal could be seen standing taller than the furniture. It did eventually get out, but not before breaking a few more things around the house. The Habs will face their toughest test yet in these playoffs in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final happening tonight.
We'll see what the result is. Hopefully we can have energy, and I know guys are pretty amped up, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Carolina hasn't dropped a playoff game yet. They also haven't played since May 9th. Montreal, on the other hand, has gone through 2 tough 7-game series. The Habs have beaten 2 teams that were ahead of them in the standings. The Hurricanes finished the season in top spot in the East. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Central. And here's a look now at what's happening on Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It looks like the streets are full of puddles and quite wet, so be mindful of pedestrians, please. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.76. It's a small drop from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.60, found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Stay with us for more on Habitat for Humanity Manitoba.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
All right, there's a brighter glow behind the heavy clouds above me. I can tell the sun is up there, just not seeing a whole lot of it yet. It is still mainly cloudy, and I've got the umbrella out. Still a little bit of light rain is falling over us. It's 10 degrees. It is an above seasonal start, and the winds on the lighter side, just 9 kilometers per hour out of the east-northeast. The pressure rising, and the humidity is sitting at 75%. Eventually, this rain will taper off, and the sky will clear out, and that sunshine that's up there waiting. I even see patches of blue sky. We will be enjoying that throughout the day today. Maybe enough to dry up some of those puddles, although we're happy about the rain. We needed it for sure, but perhaps some of those storms woke you up last night. They're going to be moving into central Manitoba. That's where it'll linger throughout the day. Farther into the north, beautiful sunny conditions expected all across northern Manitoba. And temperature-wise, not bad. We're getting back up to seasonal temperatures today. Enjoy a few days of seasonal before the real heat comes by the end of the weekend. On over to see where Ainsley's at this morning. Hey, Ainsley, what's going on?
Hi, good morning. We're on Pandora talking about the Habitat for Humanity build, the largest in Manitoba, and we're getting an update. It's CEO's joining me now, Jamie Hall. Jamie, every time we're here, it's so encouraging to see more families inside. Where are we now?
Well, as you can see, we're out by the street now. So we're on the 11th of 11 buildings that is under construction. So we have 35 families already living here of the 55 homes. When I started, it's coming up on 3 years. My first week we did the CTV Morning Live hit, and the first building was a foundation. And so it's exciting to see almost 3 years later that we're nearing completion, and we'll have this done by December, the last building.
You know what, it's funny you say that, because when I started in traffic, like 4 years ago, I was here for the press conference that announced that this would be the largest build. So I feel like it's been a coming-of-age story for all of us.
Yes, and it's wonderful to see. It's so encouraging to see to see this project takes shape and near its completion, one of the things we don't get to see at Habitat very often is we build a house and we celebrate the family and off they go in, and then we go and build the next house. Whereas here, we can walk down through the complex and see the bicycles, we can see the smells of lunch being prepared, we can see homes in action, of which we often don't get to see. So it's wonderful to be a part of this community as we finish this community. Looking forward to them not having to live in a construction zone anymore, the families that are there already, but celebrating with them all along.
So we're on Pandora, but another Transcona neighborhood is going to be updated as well. Tell us about Panet.
Yes, so we're going to have team builds here for the first part of the summer. In the latter part of the summer, we're going to run out of work for volunteers, and so we're building 10 duplexes on Panet Avenue. We have one of them is completed already. Another one will be completed this year, but we have 4 more that we're just pouring the foundations for, and we're going to be moving our volunteer teams over to Panet later this summer.
You know what? I have a feeling you're never going to run out of jobs for volunteers. Don't worry about that. This is awesome. We've got such a friendly community. Thank you so much, Jamie. Coming up, there's more from the Habitat build.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 137 points lower. The Nasdaq fell 156 points. The S&P index had small losses. The Canadian dollar decreased. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 264 points down. And the Nikkei boosted 1,879 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Police in Thompson are investigating a fatal stabbing that happened early Wednesday morning. Mounties were called to an open area located off Princeton Drive around 2:20 a.m. They found a man with stab wounds. He was taken to hospital where he died from his injuries. RCMP investigators are probing the incident. Anyone with information is asked to contact Thompson, RCMP, or Crime Stoppers. We're getting a look at the experiences of Manitoba's LGBTQ2S+ community from a first-of-its-kind study. Rainbow Resource Centre developed 2 online surveys with Probe Research, which were conducted between February and November of last year. The results show personal connections are powerful drivers of acceptance, with half of respondents saying they are or love someone who is queer. The biggest difference is on protection and funding. Nearly all queer respondents believe rights should be protected by strong laws, while only 7 in 10 Manitobans agree. And only half of the general population say government should fund queer communities. Support was highest among those with a community connection. Rainbow Resource Centre plans to release further results in the coming months. A charitable organization in Saskatchewan says it's been targeted by a cyber attack. The Kinsman Foundation of Saskatchewan says it's reaching out to donors who may have had contact info and email addresses compromised in a recent cybersecurity incident. The Kinsman Foundation said the incident involved unauthorized access to certain applications on its systems. The incident is now contained, and regular operations and services are unaffected. Law enforcement have been notified, and third-party experts are helping in the investigation into what happened. The foundation is asking people to be wary of suspicious emails claiming to be from Kinsman or Telemiracle, which is its annual fundraising telethon. A new twist in Alberta's growing separation debate. A premature press release by the ruling United Conservative Party has stalled the decision on a pro-Canada petition.
As a citizen, I am insulted. And I think the 400-some thousand Albertans who signed this petition, frankly, and the separatist petition, should be insulted too. Because this was just a theater.
A bipartisan committee met Wednesday to decide the future of the Forever Canadian petition. But even before they finished debating it, a release announced that the question of whether Albertans want to remain in Canada would go to a referendum this fall. The committee meeting ended without a vote, so no recommendation was made. A UCP minister says this does not change Premier Danielle Smith's plans for a televised primetime address today. 2 generic versions of Ozempic are set to start arriving in Canadian pharmacies this week. Health Canada approved both Dr. Reddy's and Apotex's generic semaglutide about 3 weeks ago. Apotex is based in Canada and says it began shipping its product on Tuesday. India-based Dr. Reddy's says its version will be widely available in the coming days. Both Ozempic and the generic products are approved for management of diabetes, but some doctors prescribe it off-label for weight loss. Rexall and Shoppers Drug Mart say they expect shipments by the end of the week. Dramatic footage to show you of a burning car that exploded near Wall Street in Lower Manhattan. Frantic pedestrians scrambled for safety as a massive fireball erupted from the vehicle and thick smoke filled the air. Remarkably, nobody was injured, and officials are investigating. Ever seen a baby aardvark? Well, you're about to. Womble was born last month at the Chester Zoo in the UK. It's just the second aardvark born at the zoo in its 94-year history. Aardvarks are nocturnal, which means late nights for zookeepers who are pitching in to care for Womble. They'll find out later if Womble is a boy or a girl. And by the way, the Wombles is a UK children's show about creatures that live underground. So sweet. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Balmoral Street will be closed from Ellis to Sargent Avenue. Following the rush, the eastbound median lane on Broadway will be closed from Edmonton to Donald Street. And on Dakota Street, one northbound lane will be closed between Nova Vista and Meadowood Drive. If you have any other traffic tips, send us a text, please.
We're looking out onto some streets where some puddles formed early this morning. 10 degrees is where we're sitting right now. Just cloudy at this time. That rain seems to have tapered off in a lot of places now. The winds on the lighter side, but that might just be ahead of them shifting and increasing. At the moment, 9 clicks out of the east-northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 75%. Yeah, those winds will likely get stronger again as they shift. That's when they seem to taper off, but then a south wind could really increase again, gusting at times to 60 kilometers per hour. A lot of the rain has really tapered, considerably so. Just a few raindrops still falling out there, but the bulk of the activity that moved through Winnipeg is now in areas just to the north and to the east of us, and you can still see some little lightning bolts firing off where those brighter reds and yellows are. It's going to be moving up into central Manitoba, but further into the north, a beautiful sunny day expected. 6 degrees, Churchill will crack the freezing mark. I feel like you deserve a round of applause for that. Other places getting up into those mid to high teens. Very much normal temperatures expected across the province today. Like I said, some places in that more central stretch, I know it's plotted in the northern part, but Norway House is actually quite central, and we'll be perhaps seeing some of that precipitation, as will places like Dauphin, Nipawin, and still in the parts of southern Manitoba, Winnipeg included, still a few lingering showers, but eventually that system will move into the more central stretch. And look at the temperatures expected today. Pretty much bang on with what is normal for this time of year. A little more sunshine expected in areas just to the east of us, and we'll be seeing more of that sunshine later on today. Temperature-wise, getting up into the 22-degree range. Overnight into Saturday, another round of precipitation, slightly cooler temperatures. But look at that. By the time we're wrapping up the weekend and into next week, got some heat coming our way.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, you guys.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
We wanted to talk a little bit about the time change, which of course everybody is talking about, because yesterday Premier Wab Kinew, encouraged Manitobans to go to engagemb.ca to let's really talk about whether or not we're going to change the clocks or keep them forward. I jumped on it as soon as he made that announcement. So engagemb.ca. Now, everyone's opinion is valid. You can have an opinion. My opinion and what I put on that survey was I like light early in the morning. I like light early or late into the evening. So I chose to keep everything exactly the way it is right now. That was important to me. Now, of course, we'll find out what happens in the next little bit. But I thought it was interesting. If you look back at the segments that we do with you over the years, I'm sure we could find a couple of instances where Ace has actually talked about the time change, right? He's talked about it for a very long time. For sure over 10 years we were talking about it, right? And had very strong feelings about bringing it up.
I've been lobbying for over 10 years to ditch time change altogether, okay?
Okay.
And so I thought that was a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And something I felt strongly about. But then when it became public that we're allowed to vote on it, now I don't know. There is actually an option for I don't know. Honestly, I just want whatever makes the most people happy. So my previous stance, which I was loving, I was like, yeah, we got to ditch time change.
Very strongly
honestly,
about.
Now I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused. However, there is one thing I am not confused about. Baby aardvark content rules.
So
good. So cute.
It was
Oh
cute.
my God, I've never seen one.
I don't think I have either.
That was awesome.
No hair on that guy either.
He's so cute.
Yeah,
just like me.
And of course, that will be our question of the day too, is the time change. So we're going to have more on that in the show a little later. Thanks, you guys. An eye surgeon in Victoria discovered how much more there was to see when he picked up a new kind of lens. As CTV's Adam Sawatsky shows you, he's on a search for beauty in unexpected places.
Well, Angus MacDonald is searching for something specific.
Oh my God, look at that mess over there.
He pauses his hunt to take a picture of what many might dismiss as junk.
Yeah, I know it's junk, but that's the beauty.
Beauty in the junk?
Junk, sure.
Sure, there are interesting shapes and textures and colors, but Angus is also seeing something else.
I mean, there's 1,000 cars over there. Each has a story.
After Angus wonders how each driver's life might be unfolding, he reveals his life began being out of focus.
I couldn't see it, cold blur.
So you can imagine how young Angus must have felt to get his first camera and figure out how to use its lenses to capture the world around him with not just creativity, but clarity.
To take a picture and then see it, and that's probably led me into ophthalmology.
For decades, Angus worked as a successful eye surgeon, running a prestigious practice.
Constantly on the go. And then at some point I said, is this all there is?
Well, Angus answered that question by picking up a camera again and found there was so much more.
Sort of pull back a little bit from the freneticism of our normal world and just be in the moment.
Now, this has become a daily meditation of sorts, using his camera to get out of his head and feel something in his heart.
All of a sudden, oh God, look at that little thing. Now there's a story here.
A story about how something so delicate can demonstrate so much strength.
The little flowers, courage to grow through the rock.
A story Angus is constantly searching to tell with his camera because it's so perennially inspiring.
Against all odds, you can do it.
Just like a boy with blurry vision can grow up to be a doctor who restores sight, before becoming a photographer who focuses on the beauty we're often too busy to see.
Beautiful things everywhere. If you just step back, take a breath, and look. That is cool over there. I'm going to go photograph that thing. Let's go.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Thursday, May 21st. Today, looking for answers. What new information has come to light in the death of a young woman? Plus, an historic drug bust, how many people were arrested following a major investigation in Winnipeg. And seeking feedback, how you can have your say on whether to end seasonal time changes. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 7:52 in our Community Connection, we're going to tell you about a walk that's happening in Portage. It's really a cool walk. It's all about inclusion and acceptance. It's called Best Buddies Friendship Walk, and it's for people with intellectual disabilities that have a hard time making connections and building friendships. So they're going to have ambassadors there to walk along with them and build those special relationships, and it goes a long way to making people feel like they belong. So we're going to have a little bit more about that, as well as how you can support the cause. Nice. And maybe even be there and be an ambassador. But the weather today, it was started off wild and crazy, quite a light show.
Yeah, for sure. The storms that rolled through last night perhaps even woke you up before your alarm clock. You're like, come on, I had another 20 minutes or perhaps another few hours, depending what time you were planning on waking up. Well, that rain is tapered off for the most part. It's still falling very, very lightly in some places, but it's nowhere near as active as it was a few hours back. 10 degrees, so a mild start to the day with those winds out of the east-northeast that were 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 75%. Plenty of puddles formed on the streets, so that'll be part of your drive into work this morning. And there you can see it was all of southern Manitoba that was seeing the precipitation, which we needed. So thank you, Mother Nature. And well timed out to see most of that overnight. And now it'll be pushing into more of central Manitoba, and we'll see some clearing and increasing amounts of sunshine as a result. So here on the Futurecast, you'll see what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, farther up into the north, beautiful sunny conditions and really nice temperatures headed up to seasonal values Central Manitoba, that's where the precipitation is going to be moving to, especially on the eastern side of the province. We'll see that clearing here in the southeast, setting us up for a little more sunshine today. Later this afternoon, a little more activity could be pushing into parts of the southwest. And overnight, we're just likely to see a few clouds here in Winnipeg. Tomorrow, still a fair bit of sunshine to be enjoyed, while along this western border, more precipitation lingers. And in fact, it cuts right over onto the eastern side as well. That eventually starts to push a little bit further into the north, with another round to come. This will be Friday night into Saturday, with some slightly cooler temperatures to kick off the weekend. But then wrapping up the weekend, we're going to be feeling the heat big time, especially as we're looking further into next week. The next couple of days, pretty much bang on par with seasonal, dipping ever so slightly before we're seeing that heat move in. And our weather art today is a big thanks to 7-year-old Stella, chosen, of course, because it was so fitting for last night's storms. Thank you, Stella, and keep the art coming. We'd love to see more of it. You can send it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
There are new questions about a 22-year-old woman who died after donating plasma in Winnipeg. A family representative has revealed the university student suffered sudden cardiac arrest. Her death was just one of two which took place in a matter of months at Grifols, a for-profit blood and plasma center. Both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner found no link between the deaths and the donations. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, advocates say the cause of death should prompt a new investigation.
Advocates are calling for a new investigation into the death of a woman who donated plasma in Winnipeg after they say her cause of death has been revealed.
There may have been multiple contributing factors to her death, and none of them are her fault.
Bloodwatch.org, a nonprofit group, says they are representing the family of 22-year-old Rodiat Alabidi. The international student died after donating plasma for money at this Grifols location on Taylor Avenue last October. Bloodwatch says an autopsy report shows Alabidi's cause of death was a sudden cardiac arrest due to dilated cardiomegaly, known as an enlarged heart.
The pressure and stress a plasma donation would put on a donor's heart with this condition would be profound.
There was a second death reported at this other Winnipeg location in January 2026. Both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner found no link between the deaths and the donations. But the advocates claim there are discrepancies in reporting, and because of the manner of death, there should be a new probe and a federal inquiry.
We want to see an independent and fulsome investigation into all the deaths connected to paid plasma in Manitoba.
In a statement, a Grifols spokesperson tells CTV News all assessments show no link to the donation process. The investigation found no evidence of a machine malfunction or staff error that contributed to the donor's serious adverse event. And Manitoba's health minister says they're not going to undermine the investigations that have already taken place.
When Health Canada and the chief medical examiner come to effectively the same conclusion that these tragic deaths are not linked to plasma donation, I am absolutely going to respect that conclusion.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
CTV News reached out to Health Canada and the chief medical examiner for comment. We have not yet heard back. A nearly 2-year investigation has led to what police in Winnipeg say is the largest drug bust in Manitoba's history.
The objective was not only to disrupt and dismantle these networks, but also to gather intelligence and evidence relating to the higher level members of the organization.
More than 500 kilograms of illicit drugs, including meth and cocaine, were seized with an estimated street value of more than $37 million. Police also seized 14 firearms, 7 vehicles, about $825,000 in cash, and illicit cigarettes. 33 people have been arrested, including people with alleged ties to high-ranking criminal organizations. Altogether, 174 drug trafficking-related charges have been laid. Investigators say the drugs were imported into Canada through commercial transport vehicles, stored in Alberta and Ontario, and then allegedly moved into Manitoba through courier services, commercial transport trucks, and private vehicles. In Ontario, one person is in hospital and being tested for Ebola and other infectious diseases after recently returning from East Africa. That region is currently grappling with an Ebola outbreak.
Global Affairs Canada is not aware of any Canadians affected by the Ebola virus outbreak in the DRC or Uganda. Consular officials are standing ready to provide assistance to those who are requesting it.
There are currently no confirmed cases in Canada. The WHO says a potential vaccine is at least 6 months away. The outbreak has led to 139 deaths and more than 600 suspected cases. Ottawa has nominated Canada's top soldier for a senior NATO military post. Chief of Defence Staff General Jenny Carignan is a candidate to be the next chair of NATO's military committee. The chair serves as the senior military advisor to NATO's Secretary General. The current chair is expected to finish his term next summer. The vote to name his replacement will be held in September. General Carignan has been Canada's top soldier since 2024. She's expected to stay in her current role until at least next year. If you have a strong opinion on daylight saving time, the province wants to hear from you. It's launching a survey to help determine whether to end the practice of changing clocks twice a year.
The times, they are a-changing here in Manitoba, and we might stop changing our time. But which way should we go?
The survey asks whether Manitobans want to have year-round standard time, daylight time, or just simply stick with the current system. Currently, the time moves 1 hour forward to daylight saving time in March and 1 hour back in November to standard time. Last month, the Premier said Manitoba is potentially eyeing the end of seasonal time changes. The move would bring Manitoba in line with other prairie provinces. The survey also includes a report on the health impacts of the time change. It can be filled out online at engagemb.ca. One of Michael Jackson's most iconic songs is back at #1, and it comes more than 4 decades after its release. Billie Jean tops Billboard's Global's 200 chart this week, fueled in part by renewed interest from the new Michael Jackson biopic. The song climbed from number 65 just 3 weeks ago and now leads the chart after more than 51 million global streams in a single week. Billie Jean also sets a new record for the longest climb to #1 on the Global 200 chart, reaching the top in its 144th week on the list. It was originally released on Jackson's Thriller album in late 1982 and dominated the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks. Here's a look outside right now on McPhillip Street. Things are moving well in this part of the city. As you can see, there are puddles out there, though, so please be careful when you hit those. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live at the Habitat for Humanity site on Pandora. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I'm happy to say that this is likely the last time we're going to be at the Pandora build. Why? Because it has evolved certainly over the last 3.5 years. 35 of the homes built, families already living in them, and that's even going to change to 40 in the next couple weeks, and 55 homes when it's finally done. Throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting about corporate partnerships. We're actually going to be chatting with one of the families as well, because as I mentioned, we've got over, I think, 200, and here, let me get the number correct, 275 residents and 175 children. So it's really great to see the impact. They've also got a build on Panet Road that they're developing as well. Not as big as this one. This is the largest one that they've done, but we'll hear about that too.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. You still need the umbrella right now, Terry.
Yeah, I mean, barely, but I can see the raindrops. I couldn't feel them. My hair is thick, so I probably wouldn't feel them. I can see them, though, and as a result, I wanted to keep the hair dry. At the airport, they are showing that the showers have tapered off, but obviously here in the downtown area, I'm still seeing a little bit of that activity. 9 degrees, that temperature fell off just a degree. We're still above seasonal. 7 degrees would be a normal low temperature, so we're still doing okay. The winds, though, are starting to increase. I mentioned they would be shifting, so last hour they were very light, but out of the northeast, and now as they're shifting out of the southeast, they're starting to increase again, up to 22 kilometers per hour currently, only to get stronger throughout the day. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 80%, and yes, still needing the umbrella if you don't want to get your curls wet. As far as the rain goes, though, it is very light and is certainly tapering off from the further or the more increased activity earlier this morning. Those storms that rolled right over Winnipeg are now just to the north and to the east of us, so still very active in some places. Not as active right now, but still noticeable somewhat. As the day goes on, though, we'll see this clearing out, making way for some sunshine, which, by the way, northern Manitoba will enjoy throughout the day. Plenty of sunshine up north. Really nice temperatures, pretty much seasonal, expected across the entire province today.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Thank you, Terry. It's time now for our question of the day. We want to know what's your opinion about the time change. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
It's time for our pet of the week. This week we're celebrating Pascal. He's a chameleon. He likes to ride his bike without a helmet. He can catch a lot of bugs on the road, and he's quite an exclusive pet. Thanks, Kayla, for sharing this photo with us. And congratulations to the scaly pal. We love your pet of the week submissions, so keep them coming, please. Share a photo and a fun little story about your pet, dog, cat, bird, or any other buddy at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our pet of the week. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Today's code word is spend. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter spend with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck. Good morning. Winnipeg fire crews were called out early this morning for a fire in a bus. According to police, the incident happened around 2 this morning in the 1 to 99 block of Portage Avenue. Images captured at the scene by a CTV viewer show what looks to be a charter bus engulfed in flames as clouds of black smoke fill the air. Police note no one was hurt and 2 arrests have been made. CTV News has reached out to the City of Winnipeg for more information. Manitoba Trade is going global. The province is placing a regional trade representative in India. The purpose is to diversify trading partners and expand market access internationally. The province says the representative will provide market intelligence, build business connections, and attract investment opportunities. The move is based on Manitoba's economic development strategy, which was announced last year. It focuses on building a competitive economy and reducing over-reliance on the U.S. market. There's a new plan for an historic building in Brandon.
They're pretty monumental in the Brandon scene.
Blackbird Housing has purchased the Mackenzie Seeds building along with its neighbor for $3.25 million. The plan is to create 130 residential units, each with sensors to detect falls and heart rate monitors, along with healthcare, support services, and common space intended for seniors. The $20 million project is a partnership between Blackbird and several technology companies, which are developing systems to help with the construction, including laser scanning.
It was create like a digital twin of the buildings to within millimeters of accuracy. So from there, we can, check the structural integrity of the building. That'll help with engineering reports.
Blackbird's president says the buildings have already been gutted during past projects that fell through. So much of the artifacts from Mackenzie Seeds is already gone. The exceptions are a spiral staircase to the clock and a concrete seed bin on the 7th floor, which are too difficult to remove. While there's no timeline for completion yet, Blackbird hopes to begin construction on the project by the end of the year. A wild burglar broke into a house in Quebec, much to the surprise of those who were home at the time. A moose broke through a window to get inside. The animal could be seen standing taller than the furniture. It did eventually get out, but not before breaking a few more things around the house. All right, here's a look outside now at the current traffic situation at Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. Things have really picked up over here, as you can see, but overall, moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point. Princess Auto Stadium is gearing up to host Canada Day celebrations once again. The Winnipeg Football Club is hosting its 3rd annual Canada Day celebration on July the 1st. Things kick off at noon in the tailgate area with live music, cultural performances, and tons of family-friendly activities. And that's not all. There's a concert happening inside the stadium starting at 5 with headliners Down with Webster and Chad Brownlee, along with local favorites Donna Marrow and Mise en Scène. And the whole night caps off with fireworks. All Canada Day celebrations at Princess Auto Stadium are free, but you'll need a ticket to get into the main stage show. You can get those free passes through the Blue Bombers website. This rock band is back with another record. Evanescence is releasing their new studio album June the 5th. Sanctuary will be their 6th album. There are a couple of Canadian shows coming up in Toronto and Montreal. Their tour kicks off June 11th in West Palm Beach. Fans already know we're getting another season of this medical drama. Grey's Anatomy is returning for season 23, but if you can't get enough of the original show, there's going to be a spin-off. It will be based in Texas and is expected to premiere in the next year, and it wouldn't be official without the seal of approval from Shonda Rhimes herself. The Grey's creator will serve as co-creator and executive producer on the new series, along with the Grey's Anatomy showrunner. Kick off your Thursday primetime lineup with 2 episodes of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, starting at 7. Fear Factor, House of Fear comes next at 8. The Traders Canada is on at 9. And then at 10, catch Next Level Chef. It's all right here tonight on CTV. All right, Terry, today the weather is pretty wild, but it's going to get sunny a little later today.
It is, and in many ways, it's exactly what we needed. Yeah. It was dry, it was dusty, we needed the rain, and we got it. Most of it while we were asleep, except unless, of course, it woke you up and then you weren't sleeping through it. You can still see some big fat raindrops on our camera as we take a look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Just when I was up on the rooftop about 10 minutes ago, still some very light rain falling. We're going to see that tapering off and then the conditions changing as the sky clears. We will be seeing a little more sunshine today. Temperature-wise, it's been above seasonal. 7 degrees, a normal low. 9 seems to be where most of us are sitting throughout the further south. 8 then, or 7, getting a little bit cooler as we move through northern Manitoba. Further that you go up into the north, though, the sun is shining and it's going to be a beautiful day. Very clear conditions all across the northern half of the province. Well, here you can see it on the satellite image, just how clear it is up north. We were dealing with all of that rain. That's going to start to push now into more of central Manitoba. So things will still be fairly active, especially in east central Manitoba, or maybe later on again this afternoon, southwestern Manitoba could be seeing yet another round of that rain. For us, it'll taper off this morning, and then the clouds clearing out, making way for the sunshine, which will be bringing us some heat. Up to 22 degrees is where we're headed today. That'll be pleasant, although it will be a little bit breezy with those winds increasing throughout the day. A little more sunshine again tomorrow, but tomorrow night more rain. That'll take us into Saturday with some slightly cooler temperatures. But right on the other side of that, brace yourself because the heat is coming back in a way that we have not seen yet. Look at this. I think this is one of the coolest pictures that I've seen. That tongue. Oh. Anyway, thank you very much to Hayden. This one snapped in the Inwood area. Send your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
May 21st, 1927. American Charles Lindbergh landed at Le Bourget Field outside Paris after his historic solo flight across the Atlantic. On the same date, 5 years later, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic as she landed in Northern Ireland about 15 hours after leaving Newfoundland. May 21st, 1986. Canada-U.S. free trade talks began. Even before this meeting, there had been controversy over what might be discussed. External Affairs Minister Joe Clark had repeatedly stressed that social programs would not be on the table, but the Americans had countered by saying nothing would be off limits to discussion. May 21st, 2017. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus that wowed crowds for 146 years with its greatest show on earth performed its last show in Uniondale, New York, Ringling returned in 2023 with an animal-free production featuring acrobats, stunts, and tech-heavy performances. $1 billion bill is heading Canada's way for the World Cup. CTV's Andrew Johnson on how that stacks up against other host countries.
With the transformation of Vancouver and Toronto into World Cup cities just about complete, excitement is building.
I think it's great to see the festival here and all the games and everything coming into town. Money well spent.
A cost that's now eclipsed $1 billion, according to Canada's budgetary watchdog, to host 13 games in June and July. That's roughly $82 million per game, which is actually less than Russia spent to host in 2018, Brazil in 2014, and South Africa in 2010. But one sports economist points out co-hosting alongside the U.S. and Mexico, what we're paying for doesn't quite compare.
Well, we're not getting any of the major elimination matches. We thought that if we were hosting the World Cup, we would actually see something of consequence.
Close to $500 million for FIFA is coming from Ottawa, the rest provincial and local, to pay for security, infrastructure, and stadium upgrades. The host cities are counting on a big benefit. BC's premier says the tournament will bring 1 million visitors to Vancouver over the next 5 years. The mayor has led the charge.
This is an amazing opportunity. It's going to be a month-long commercial.
Critics claim otherwise.
I've been saying for 8 years now, give or take, that we were sold a false bill of goods, not by FIFA, but by our politicians.
How do Canadians feel? Well, the latest polling from Leger showed close to 3/4 of Canadians support hosting World Cup matches, but a majority indicated their biggest concern is taxpayer costs. And the final number isn't in yet. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We are live at a Habitat for Humanity construction site right now. It's one of the biggest ever. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. It is the biggest ever in Manitoba. How fantastic is that? And by the end of the year, it will be finished. Brian Ward's joining us now from Qualico, but he's also on the board here with Habitat for Humanity. Tell us a little bit about that partnership from your lens.
It's been a long partnership and a great one, and great alignment between the two organizations. At Qualico, we build neighborhoods and homes for people, and at Habitat, we do the same thing. And it's been a great opportunity for our staff to participate and get in the field and give back to the community, building homes that people can hopefully afford and attain and reach their goals.
And how many people are we talking in terms of involvement?
It changes year to year. We do team builds and builds where the staff can volunteer. I participate on the board and currently the board chair. We've had other staff on the board. We support all sorts of different events that Habitat runs. We've got riders riding and cycling right around the lake, the women build, all sorts of different events.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to that team building piece, have you seen the transformation in the employees?
It's a great chance for people, especially those that don't get onto a build site, to get onto a build site in a safe way, in a planned way, with opportunities to try building homes. And though we do that as a company, not everyone gets a chance to do that in their day job. So great volunteer chance.
And it's cool too, because the build is so big. You're seeing people actually move in, like you're seeing your work come into fruition. How does that feel?
It feels great, especially when you're on a build and the family is here. And it might not be the family moving into the unit, but the family or a future homeowner working beside you, putting in their volunteer time is very rewarding.
We're almost out of time here, but call out to other businesses. Why should they take part?
Other businesses do, and we have great support in Winnipeg, and it's a great opportunity for team building and to give back to the community and help our city grow.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this conversation. This here, I mean, I do have to wear it, but it feels ornamental because I have no skills. But I think that if I did come and join you guys, I'd be okay.
You'd be fine.
What would you make me do?
You'd probably hammer a lot of nails and have a really sore forearm the next day.
Yeah, one task, a simple task, but
you know. It's a good skill to have.
I'm good so far.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And it's a good day to be, well, to start off the day inside right now, because a little bit of drizzle out there.
That's right. I mean, still seeing just a few raindrops here or there, nowhere near as active as it was, say, a couple hours back. That's when those storms passed over us. but still a few lingering showers. It's 9 degrees right now with south-southeast winds 22 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 80%. And you can still see some of those raindrops on our camera, or looking at the satellite image, you can see what's happening outside. A lot of what I mentioned was very active, rolled over us earlier this morning, and now that really active weather, that's the reds and the yellows with the lightning bolts firing off. That's areas just a little bit to the north and to the east of Winnipeg. There's Winnipeg. And there are the storms. So most of it has passed, but we might still see a few of those lingering raindrops through the morning. Northern Manitoba, a beautiful sunny day for you, and we'll eventually see some of that sunshine here in the south. 22 degrees, that's where we're headed today. 21, a normal daytime high. So finally back to seasonal temperatures, maybe even a degree beyond, but the winds, we can't escape them. It seems they could be up to 60 kilometers per hour this afternoon. Now tapering off overnight with that breeze, dropping down to just 20k winds. Our temperatures only dropping off to 11 degrees, so double digits overnight when 7 would be a normal low, and just a few clouds lingering. That'll set us up for some sunshine tomorrow. It'll be a beautiful day, still a little bit breezy, but pleasant as far as the temperatures go. Now, tomorrow night, another round of precipitation. Again, we'll welcome it because this little round last night, it's still been incredibly dry and we'll be needing more of that. So into the overnight hours Friday and lingering into Saturday, a little more shower activity and some slightly cooler temps to kick off the weekend. Then we're back up into the mid-20s, but wait for it, low 30s. That's what we can expect to endure as we're looking ahead to next week. Plenty of sunshine coming our way.
Thank you, Terry. Police in Thompson are investigating a fatal stabbing that happened early Wednesday morning. Mounties were called to an open area located off Princeton Drive around 2:20 a.m. They found a man with stab wounds. He was taken to hospital where he died from his injuries. RCMP investigators are probing the incident. Anyone with information is asked to contact Thompson, RCMP, or Crime Stoppers. A familiar mayoral candidate is tossing his hat in the ring once again.
I've waited 4 years for this moment.
Don Woodstock officially registered Wednesday as a candidate in Winnipeg's mayor's race. He's a familiar face on the civic campaign trail, having run for mayor previously in 2018 and 2022. Woodstock is campaigning on 8 main issues, including safety, homelessness, and Winnipeg transit. He says he's the right person to fix transit because he's the only candidate with experience as a bus operator.
It's an easy thing to talk. Very easy to talk about what you're going to do for transit, but unless you know, based on actual experience, everything that you're saying is literally amount to nonsense.
5 others have registered as mayoral candidates. The deadline to do so is September 22nd. Election day is Wednesday, October 28th. The City of Winnipeg wants you to weigh in on climate change and its impact on our community. The city says the likelihood of extreme weather events is increasing, and there's a growing need to cut pollution and use less energy. This is why the city says it's updating its climate action plan, and it wants your help. It launched an online survey to learn how residents are affected by the changing climate, as well as what it needs to do to lower emissions and protect the community and its infrastructure. You can fill out the survey on the city's website until June 28th. New data from StatsCan has pinpointed the regions in Canada with the highest breast cancer rates.
Having access to data like this is really just so crucial for decision makers and policymakers to have a better understanding of where resources are really needed.
The figures show cases of breast cancer are highest in rural regions of Quebec, Ontario, and the prairies. Some urban centers with large immigrant and racialized populations are also at a higher risk. But in bigger cities like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, and northern and remote regions, there are fewer cases. And people in bigger cities have better access to treatment and follow-up care. 30,500 women were diagnosed with breast cancer in 2024. U.S. President Donald Trump says he is in no hurry to end the war in Iran. U.S. sources reveal Iran is rebuilding its military-industrial base faster than expected and is already producing drones. U.S. intel says Iran restarted some of its drone production during the 6-week ceasefire that began in early April. The rebuilding of military capabilities also includes replacing missile sites, launchers, and production capacity. Negotiations are said to be ongoing. President Trump has said the U.S. will give them one shot, but will not accept a limited or partial agreement. This morning, sources in Iran say its supreme leader has ordered that near weapons-grade uranium must stay in Iran. A professor at London, Ontario's Western University is alleging a majority of the students in one of his classes cheated on a final exam last month.
Had 8% of my class achieve 100% on the multiple choice, 55% over 90%. I've never seen marks like that in 20 years of teaching. And then when I went to the written answers, it was very clear that there was a disconnect. Information I didn't teach and that I can't believe they knew.
Jacob Shelley alleges most of the 288 students in his healthcare law course used AI to cheat on a final exam. The online exam was to be closed book. Shelley chose not to use proctoring software, saying he believes it doesn't prevent cheating. He also chose not to use exam results on final grades, despite the school telling him to. But in the end, Western did include the multiple choice portion of the exam on final grades. In a statement, the school says, in part, that they take all measures to protect academic integrity, and we have robust policies in place to address scholastic offenses. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Mayoral Street will be closed from Ellis to Sargent Avenue. Following the rush, the eastbound median lane on Broadway will be closed from Edmonton to Donald Street. And on Dakota Street, one northbound lane will be closed between Nova Vista and Meadowood Drive. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.76. It's a small drop from yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.60, found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Still some dark and gloomy looking clouds hanging over the city, but it's 9 degrees. That's an above seasonal start and a bit of a breeze out of the south-southeast, only 22 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 80%. I say only a 22K wind, and that's because it will be getting a lot stronger later today. The winds seem to be the element that we can't escape. The rain will eventually escape that, or it'll just move on beyond us. It's not like we can escape anything Mother Nature chooses to dish up, but this will pass by, clearing out behind it, and then a little more sunshine to come through southern Manitoba. You can see how clear it is already, though, across the north, and with that will come plenty of sunshine and some really nice temperatures. I'm talking 6 degrees in Churchill. That'll be a few above seasonal, and mid to high teens throughout the rest of northeastern Manitoba. A beautiful day expected to enjoy with plenty of sunshine. That'll go for northwestern Manitoba as well, as you're pushing up into those high teens. It's more of central and southern Manitoba that'll deal with the activity this morning through the south, and then through the afternoon it pushes a little bit further north, reaching more of central Manitoba. Still possibly some thunderstorms, and the southwest could actually see another round of it later on this afternoon. This morning's activity will pass on by, but then another round later today. Whereas here in the southeast, we've got this morning's round, but once that clears, we'll actually stay in the clear with the sun shining over us throughout the afternoon for southeastern Manitoba. Northwestern Ontario, you're looking to see clearing as well, and some sunshine to enjoy later on today. As far as temperatures go, 22 degrees is pretty much bang on seasonal. I think actually 21 is normal, so a degree above it today. But another round of precipitation overnight Friday will take us into Saturday, and that'll be a slightly cool day compared to where we're headed. Mid-20s and then low 30s. That'll be the case with the sun shining through much of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Habitat for Humanity and some of the job sites that are in the midst of happening right now and who benefits from that. And you're going to introduce us to a family. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. This is Jacques. This is Asher. And it's funny because when I first came to this Habitat for Humanity build and walked into one of these units, I thought, oh, I've been here before. I've been to this one. But then they said, you know what? They all look like this. So which is totally fine. I'm so happy to introduce you on our show. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, well, my name is Jack. I'm a single parent. We immigrated here from the Philippines back in 2012. So we've been here for 13 years, 14 years now, since my son is 1 year old when we moved here. And yeah, like I said, I'm a single parent. So. Mm-hmm.
And what has it meant to you to be able to move into this new space?
Well, it meant a lot, especially for a single parent like me. It made it possible for me to afford a decent and safe home for me and my son. So that makes a lot of difference. Like a peace of mind, most especially right now, that like financially there's like less financial burden because of Habitat's affordable mortgage structure, and also like to be here and feel safe all the time.
And I understand too that the families have to put in a little bit of sweat equity. What did that look like from your lens?
For me, actually, I do like it, like that structure, because we don't have to pay for a down payment, but we have to put in our effort to build our own home, which is after that, it's much more rewarding and it feels earned. So every effort, every muscle sore, it's all worth it. Like being here every day inside in our own home feels more meaningful because I know that I put in a lot of my effort to build my own home.
How rewarding. And for you, have you enjoyed your time here so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, being here, it's like a dream. Yeah, like, we lived in, like, 3 other apartments, I believe. Like, moving from one to the other. Being here, it feels safe, feels, yeah, way bigger, much more space to walk around and be free, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now head to school. No, I'm just kidding. He's got to go to school after. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. Well, here's a story that will have you seeing double. One of the top athletes on the planet is giving people a behind-the-scenes look at a part of Hollywood most never get to see. Body doubles. ABC's Hannah Bada has more on the people who make a living by standing in for the stars.
Me? I'm pretty loyal.
NBA star Steph Curry is peeling back the curtain on a typically hidden Hollywood talent.
I even use the exact same body double. He doesn't even look like me. Hi, I'm Steph Curry.
His real name is Court Bivens. He's the Steph Curry you think you're seeing in all these shots. And he's been doubling as the NBA star for more than a decade.
Here we go.
A body double on set would basically act like the person. They'll wear all their clothes, have the same makeup, hairstyle.
And then they also put me in situations too that, of course, they're not going to put the franchise player in. They've almost drowned me before on set. I'm almost fallen off a building before.
Steph Curry shared a behind-the-scenes look at Stand in Life with his body double, as well as the ones for actor Kevin Hart and WNBA star Asia Wilson at this Chase commercial shoot.
Stand in Life is a very underappreciated role. All the different cutaways you see of arms, limbs, back of head. I say that loosely because he's bald.
Of course, in Hollywood, there's a fix for that.
I said, when I talk, you do the movements, right? I said that.
But to really sell the illusion, body doubles have to nail the mannerisms.
Now listen, you listen to me.
After 11 years as Kevin Hart's stand-in and photo double, Leroy Tutt has got it down.
But Kevin works out a lot. He has really broad shoulders. So whenever I morph, everything comes in, and now I'm Kevin, and he uses his hands a lot when he talks. I have to furrow my eyebrows and like really get in here. And the moment I do this,
how am I use it in the edit if you don't do what I do?
That's when it kind of locks in.
Hannah Bata, ABC News, New York.
You're celebrating a milestone today. Happy 16th birthday to grandson Danton. Love from Honey and Papa Les. Happy 12th birthday, Isla, from Mom, Dad, and all of your family and friends. Happy 13th birthday, McKinley. Love all your family and friends. Happy 42nd birthday, Victoria. Love your family and friends. And a happy birthday to Madison from all your family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, 22 degrees is where we're headed today. That'll be pleasant and even slightly above seasonal. 21 degrees, that's normal for this time of year. And last year, We didn't even get there. I mean, we missed it by 0.4 of a degree. Anyway, back in 1980, it was 36 degrees. And in fact, we could be feeling some heat on the other side of the weekend. I know today might be just a little bit cooler than that, but a great big warm-up is coming. Oh, raindrops just started falling again. I've been standing out here for about a minute, and I stepped out here. I was like, oh, I don't need my rain umbrella. Maybe I do. It's not so bad. I mean, the raindrops are just here or there. Overall, it's on the cloudier side still with pockets of blue. I can see them up there. The rest where the sun will be shining through, and we will see more of that as the day goes on. 9 degrees at the moment, comes with a 22k wind out of the south-southeast. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 80%. These clouds have, for the most part, done their work, bringing the showers and storms that perhaps woke you up earlier this morning. That's still raging in areas just to the north and to the east of us, moving up into east central Manitoba. As it clears out of the south, we'll see that sunshine later today. Southwestern Manitoba, though, could see another round later this afternoon. Yeah, there's still definitely some raindrops falling. Anyway, northern Manitoba, that's not the case for you. You just get to be soaking up the sunshine today with high teen temperatures on tap up north and low 20s here in the south. So the temperatures are back to what you would expect this time of year. But I mentioned a heat up coming. On the other side of the weekend, we could see the mercury pushing up into the low 30s for a stretch of days.
A friend is a person we can turn to when we need to make a connection, get a good laugh, or just feel supported. But for some people, making a connection like that isn't always easy. An upcoming fundraiser is helping to bridge that gap for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, including autism. It's called the Best Buddies Friendship Walk. And joining us now to tell us more about this walk are Tara Marie Hall and the ambassadors Austin and Jace Hunter. Hello to all of you.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being with us. Now let's talk about this friendship. Some of us, it's easy to make friends, right? But not everybody, it's that easy. Tell us why friendship is so important to anybody.
Well, everybody needs friends in life. You don't want to be alone. Friends can, cause you to be happier, more secure, more social.
Yeah. And have you found that it's not always easy for your kids to make those kinds of connections?
It absolutely isn't easy. Autism is one of those disabilities that it's a little bit more trickier. They don't have like a physical, you can't tell by looking at them.
Okay.
And he's got a lot of social anxiety. He's not sure how to act in social settings. He is a little bit behind developmentally.
Yeah.
So that makes it even extra hard. He's gone through a lot of bullying, a lot of teasing.
That's not nice, is it? It's so difficult for you to make connections, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about why having friends changes things for you a little bit.
Well, changing things for friends is easy.
Yeah.
Yep. So, making friends is great. And it can also be nice. And that's right. Making friends can be easy, cool, and sometimes they can play with you.
Yeah, and text or play video games, those are all things and ways to connect with someone. So tell us, Mom, how this walk helps support that, making friendships. And this friendship walk is coming up in Portage la Prairie. Tell us a little bit about what the walk is all about.
Okay, it's called the Southern Manitoba Best Buddies Friendship Walk on June 14th.
Okay.
The walk itself is a fundraiser for an in-school program from Best Buddies Canada. And this program pairs together a student with IDD, which is intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Okay.
With a student that doesn't have those disabilities. And through education and workshops and activities, they start to build a real friendship and a real bond.
That is amazing. And you
is.
see it happen as a mom. What does it mean to you to see your sons making connections like that?
There's nothing better. Absolutely nothing better.
Okay, so Jace, you are an ambassador at the walk. So tell us what that feeling is like, knowing that you are making connections with others and being a friend to someone who really needs one.
Feels great to
make connections?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you feel that it's nice to walk while you're making connections? Does that make it easy?
Yeah.
Why is that? Do you think it's easier to just sort of chat with someone when you're walking along with them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if someone's watching right now and they want to take part in this walk, what do you want them to know?
I want them to know that it is more than just a walk. It really is. It's a place where parents can come and make connections with other parents. There's a lot of educational information there. The whole community, whether it's Portage or Winnipeg and Brandon, from all over, come and support everybody. And that really is a great feeling.
Well, that is wonderful, and you will both be ambassadors there representing the cause and as raising money as well. Now, the Southern Manitoba Best Buddies Friendship Walk is happening on June 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. in Portage La Prairie, and if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you so much to all of you, and have fun at the walk.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hello, Nikki Reyes inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday forward. We go to Turkey. Europa League final, Aston Villa taking on Freiburg. Emiliano Buendia takes the pass, one touch and curls it into the top corner. What a strike from the Argentine. Takes the space and perfectly hits it out of the reach of the keeper. Aston Villa wins their first European trophy since 1982, and that is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight on TSN, WNBA action, Tembo taking on the Lynx. Tip-off at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Thursday, May 21st. It's the biggest drug takedown in Manitoba history. How much product is off the streets and how many charges have been laid after the 2-year police probe? Plasma collection under scrutiny. Renewed calls for another investigation into a woman's death after giving plasma at a privately run collection facility. And to change or not to change, the province wants to hear from you about whether or not to keep the seasonal clock switches. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Hello, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Ainsley McPhail has her boots on, her hard hat on. She's with Habitat for Humanity this morning.
Ready.
Yeah, it's the biggest building site ever in Manitoba history for Habitat, and it includes homes for 35 different families. And it's in the midst of it. It's going to be completed by the end of the year, and then there's another project just around the corner. So we're going to find out more about that. But the weather, it's a good day to be outside a little later today when the rain stops.
Yeah, you know, it's tapering off. The drops are becoming few and far between right now. It was very active earlier this morning. That's when those storms passed through. Perhaps they woke you up. Perhaps you slept through them. And this is the first that you're seeing is the puddles outside left behind from that rain that passed through. It's 9 degrees at the moment with south-southeast winds, 22 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 80%. Heavier clouds, you can see them looking outside there, or on the satellite image, you can see how the activity is still blanketing much of southern Manitoba, but for northern Manitoba, beautiful clear conditions, lots of sunshine expected through the north or eventually here in the south as this system starts to push a little bit further up into more of east central Manitoba primarily. Southwestern Manitoba, you might see this morning's activity tapering off, but then another round is going to come in behind it, and there later on this afternoon things could get active for you once again. We're likely to see things clearing out here in the southeast, making way for that sunshine, and northern Manitoba, yes, beautiful sunny conditions and really nice temperatures. No matter where you are, mercury will be returning to seasonal values, maybe even a degree above seasonal. Now, we'll enjoy that sunshine through the day, just a few clouds overnight, and tomorrow still some sunshine to enjoy, but by tomorrow night, another round of precipitation. It's been dry enough we could use another round, but with it will come some slightly cooler temperatures on Saturday. Only for a day, then we're back up into the mid-20s by Sunday, and if you've been waiting for the heat, it's coming for you in a very big way. We've got some low 30 temperatures expected throughout next week. And perfectly drawn storms that we were hearing last night. Thank you, Stella, for your art. We'd love to see more of it, so please keep the artwork coming now through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. And when you enter through the website, you'll be entered to win a $100 gift card from Crocodile on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crocodile. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
The Winnipeg Police Service is investigating an early morning bus fire at the Forks. According to police, the incident happened around 2 this morning in the 1 to 99 block of Portage Avenue. Images captured at the scene by a CTV viewer show what looks to be a charter bus engulfed in flames as clouds of black smoke fill the air. Police note no one was hurt and 2 arrests have been made. CTV News has reached out to the City of Winnipeg for more information. A nearly 2-year investigation has led to what police in Winnipeg say is the largest drug bust in Manitoba's history.
The objective was not only to disrupt and dismantle these networks, but also to gather intelligence and evidence relating to the higher level members of the organization.
More than 500 kilograms of illicit drugs, including meth and cocaine, were seized with an estimated street value of more than $37 million. Police also seized 14 firearms, 7 vehicles, about $825,000 in cash, and illicit cigarettes. 33 people have been arrested, including people with alleged ties to high-ranking criminal organizations. Altogether, 174 drug trafficking-related charges have been laid. Investigators say the drugs were imported into Canada through commercial transport vehicles, stored in Alberta and Ontario, and then allegedly moved into Manitoba through courier services, commercial transport trucks, and private vehicles. An autopsy has revealed the cause of death of a woman who donated plasma in Winnipeg last year.
There may have been multiple contributing factors to her death, and none of them are her fault.
22-year-old Rodiat Alabidi died after donating plasma for money last October. An autopsy shows the cause of death was sudden cardiac arrest due to an enlarged heart. There was another death in January this year after a donation at a different site in Winnipeg. Both sites are run by the same company, Grifols. A statement from the company says all assessments show no link to the donation process. Both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner also found no link between the deaths and the donations. Advocates, however, are calling for new investigations. Manitoba's health minister says they don't want to undermine the investigations already done. If you have a strong opinion on daylight saving time, the province wants to hear from you. It's launching a survey to help determine whether to end the practice of changing clocks twice a year.
The times, they are a-changing here in Manitoba, and we might stop changing our time. But which way should we go?
This survey asks whether Manitobans want to have year-round standard time, daylight time, or just simply stick with the current system. Currently, the time moves 1 hour forward to daylight saving time in March and 1 hour back in November to standard time. Last month, the Premier said Manitoba is potentially eyeing the end of seasonal time changes. The move would bring Manitoba in line with other prairie provinces. The survey also includes a report on the health impacts of the time change. It can be filled out online at engagemb.ca. Here's a look at traffic now along Osborne Street. Looks like things are moving quite well this Thursday morning. If you see any issues out there, let us know, please.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
All right, let's go back now to Habitat for Humanity's job site right now, where our Ainsley McPhail is live this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. 35 families have moved in, 55 by the end of this project, the biggest in Habitat's history. Leanne Taylor is a part of this fundraising initiative. She is a Paralympian, a mother, and just a total champion. Tell us a little bit about the event coming up.
I am excited for the first time to participate in the Cycle of Hope. It's a fundraiser for Habitat and also just going to be an incredible time. I think it's going to be really cool to be out there. And this year there's a virtual component as well, so there's no excuses. Everyone can participate.
Tell us about the trek, because last year it was around Kenora. This year it's more south?
Yeah, this year there's several different sort of locations, so we're going to get to see a lot of Manitoba, which is really exciting, and some of the areas we'll be biking around Morden and Winkler and kind of traversing big spaces in Manitoba, which is really exciting to kind of feel like you're going from somewhere and ending up somewhere else, like a destination ride.
Mm-hmm. You're a triathlete, so is this just easy work for you?
No.
Tell us about the process and the preparation to be cycling this much volume?
Yeah, I think the volume is a big change for me. Our races take about an hour, so it's full throttle but shorter, whereas the Cycle of Hope is going to be longer rides. But I think it's going to be so exciting and inspiring to be out there and realize that for a different kind of challenge for me is that you're doing it for a bigger cause rather than for competition, for fundraising, and for kind of a bigger purpose.
And why Habitat?
I love the idea that Habitat for Humanity kind of helps people to go from a place where I felt like I was when I was first injured, where I wasn't sure what my future looked like, I had a lot of questions, to giving them what they need to build that life for themselves that is better and has more stability and security than what they had previously had.
And you mentioned the virtual component. You mentioned the no excuses for people at home. Why should the average person take part?
I think Cycle of Hope sounds maybe a little bit intimidating because it's, you know, these longer distance rides, but the community that is around events like this, I think gives so much back to a person who does a ride like this. So whenever I participate in something like this, I think I end up leaving feeling so much better and feeling so much more fulfilled than I started. So I think it gives so much more than it takes.
Thank you so much. I love that. And you know what? Maybe I'll ride behind her and give her some snacks. I want to help the cause still, somehow.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Growing security fears over the police use of Chinese-made drones during highly sensitive operations are prompting Ontario to crack down. Here's CTV's Adrian Gabriel.
They're a vital eye in the sky being used in active police investigations across Canada.
So this drone here weighs, I don't know, like 7 pounds.
Though all drones manufactured by Chinese companies are now grounded and banned from use during highly sensitive Ontario provincial police operations to guard against what the province calls bad actors.
Growing concern that Chinese national intelligence laws will basically allow their government to have access to potentially use or weaponize, if you will, different types of electronics for espionage purposes.
This release by the Ontario government outlines that under current Chinese law, companies incorporated by China may be required to disclose data even if that data is stored outside of the country. This raises security concerns about Chinese-made drones, which could possibly access or store sensitive information. It's a worry that has led to similar steps being taken in both the U.S. and the UK.
So you can potentially embed an awful lot of basically spy malware across these different types of technologies.
Some global security researchers believe other electronics developed and manufactured by Chinese companies should also be looked at closely.
Laptops, cell phones, tablets, these are all potential pieces of technology that are vulnerable.
While not currently deemed a risk by the federal government, there are those who believe the 49,000 Chinese-built electric vehicles destined for the Canadian market this year also need to be scrutinized.
As for Chinese drones, the Ontario government says their usage will be phased out by each provincial agency and replaced in part by ones made by Canadian companies. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Look at that. Starting to see some sunshine now as we're looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. We've been seeing a lot of rain so far this morning. Perhaps maybe you heard those storms in the early morning hours, and then it just kind of tapered off to a few drops here or there. But temperature-wise, we actually remained above seasonal and are now starting to warm up from 9 last hour to 10, back up into the double digits here in Winnipeg, in the Morton-Winkler area, over in Brandon, 11 degrees. Dauphin also hitting those double digits. If you're not there, high single digits. 7 degrees would be normal, so most of us are still above that, even up into the Pas, some double digits. And in fact, plenty of sunshine to enjoy across the north. And while Churchill is below the freezing mark still for now, that will change, and you too are headed up above freezing with really pleasant conditions, soaking up all that sunshine. Meanwhile, getting soaked is much of central Manitoba now. It was southern Manitoba, but this system's starting to push just a little bit further north now. As it tapers off, we'll see that clearing behind it with the increasing amounts of sunshine to enjoy and the increasing temperatures. 14 degrees expected as kids get into the classroom, 17 through the lunch hour, and 22 degrees by the time they're coming home today. 21 is in fact a normal daytime high, so pushing above seasonal. Fairly clear conditions overnight, or at least a mix of sun and cloud overnight. Not sun and cloud overnight, sorry. A few clouds overnight and the sun and cloud for tomorrow. But then tomorrow night, another round of precipitation. That could take us into Saturday with slightly cooler temperatures to kick off the weekend. But we'll wrap up the weekend with the above seasonal temperatures. Sunshine returning, and from there, the mercury just keeps rising. Low 30s expected through the early part of next week. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg. Happy to see this guy's face back joining us this morning. Chef Shahir Massoud, welcome back and good to see you.
I haven't seen you, Terry. How are you?
I am well. I'm excited about this. I honestly thought when we were checking in that we were going to be barbecuing because it's that time. May Long is behind us now. We're looking ahead, except it's been the most miserable spring, so we're cooking in comfort inside.
It should be grilling season. But the next time I see you, Terry, will be outside. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope.
I don't know about you. Over here, it's not too pretty. So I've got a cozy recipe. It'll be the last one of the season. Then we start grilling. But I'm using Butterball boneless turkey to make one of my favorite recipes of all time. I know I say this all the time, but it's true. A saltimbocca. 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 It is the Italian word for hop in the mouth. Hop in the mouth. Because it tastes so good. You're going to take a boneless Butterball turkey breast, super versatile, lots of protein. And what I want you to do, Terry, slice it into thin kind of cutlets. So out of one turkey breast, you could serve probably 4 to 6 people. And here I've cut a little cutlet out of my boneless, skinless turkey breast. Now, a little bit of plastic wrap, and on top, sage, right on to the turkey breast. And it kind of adheres right to it.
Okay.
And then on top of the sage, Terry, prosciutto.
Oh.
The prosciutto, little bit of saltiness.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of fat, but in a nice way. And the turkey's lean, so I don't feel bad.
Yes, exactly. It offsets.
Right? Now, on top, before I go in with more plastic, I have a little bit of rice flour and cornstarch. And this is key, Terry, for a couple reasons. One, it keeps it gluten-free, which I like.
Okay.
And 2, the rice flour cornstarch
makes it
allows to get crispy, totally, yes.
Okay.
The cornstarch is the crispy part. The rice flour and the cornstarch together kind of create a pan sauce, and you're going to see what I mean.
Oh.
Now, real quick before I go into the pan, if you have a meat mallet, this is the time for it. If you don't, a rolling pin, and you're going to gently tap, the prosciutto will adhere to your turkey breast.
Oh.
Yes. And one thing I like to do with this, Terry, is I like to tap and drag. So you're not beating it.
Oh, okay. That would have been me.
It's
now
not like
I've got
the 80s, Terry.
Tap and
No.
drag. Tap and drag.
It's a tap and drag, tap and drag, tap and drag. And that dragging motion allows the prosciutto to adhere to your turkey breast. So imagine the flavors. You've got the sage in between, a sandwich of that turkey and
goodness.
Beautiful prosciutto. Now here's the thing. In my pan, oil and butter, so some olive oil and butter.
Okay.
And you go prosciutto side down. Oh my gosh.
Okay, you're going to have to do this
prosciutto,
quick because I don't want to run out of time and miss how this all comes together.
The prosciutto gets crispy. The sage kind of lives in between like a little stained glass window. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh my goodness,
Oh.
look at that.
So delicious. And then it's only like, because it's super thin, 2 minutes aside.
Nice.
And what happens is all that residual rice flour cornstarch, the brown butter now, the oil, little lemon right at the end for some bright acidity. Put it over your saltimbocca.
Oh my gosh, my mouth is puckering from that little bit of lemon butter drizzle.
Little lemon at the end. It is so delicious. Now look, we will be in grilling season soon, but this is a year-rounder. This is a year-rounder.
I still don't know what it's
Try
called.
it home.
Say it again.
Saltimbocca.
Saltimbocca. A saltimbocca. I will
in the
look it up.
mouth.
I know it's going to be on the website. What's the website again?
Butterball.ca. The full recipe's on there. Terry, I know I say this to you every time. It's one of my favorites. I want you to try this one.
I will check it out, and I will try it out. And the next time we chat, I'll let you know how it is.
Next time we chat, I'm going to be outside.
I look forward to that. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks so much today.
Good to see you. That's my lunch.
Think Turkey is brought to you by Manitoba Turkey Producers and Butterball. Meal ideas online.
If you're attending the RBC Canadian Open this year, you should also check out Golf Canada's new Hall of Fame.
We have our archives, artifacts, film, photographs. Artifacts collection is anything from golf balls to golf equipment to medallions, medals, hats, trophies. It really encompasses a lot of Canadian golf history.
TPC Toronto is now the home of the Canadian Golf Hall of Fame, as well as Golf Canada's headquarters. The Hall of Fame is spread out around the grounds, including the clubhouse, restaurants, villas, and locker rooms. It will all be open in time for this year's Canadian Open, which begins on June the 10th. All right, out on the rooftop now. It looks like the rain has stopped.
The rain has stopped, but now the winds are coming back, Rochelle. If it's not one thing, it's another. I'll find something to complain about. I actually won't complain too much about today because we're also going to see some sunshine. Yes, the rain has stopped, but for now, there's still some heavier clouds hanging over us. But there's pockets of blue sky, and we'll be seeing a lot more of that as the day goes on. But yes, the breeze is going to increase right now. Out of the south, it's gusting to 38 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 69%. But we're back in the double digits. That's a nice way to kick off the morning. A seasonal low would be 7 degrees. Our coolest temperature was 9. So we're in a good spot, and we'll continue to make some nice gains, especially now that that sun is trying to get out from behind the clouds. So things will be looking and feeling a little bit better today, if not a little bit breezy. Now, where did that rain go? It's just to the north of us. So east central Manitoba is where things will be quite active through the afternoon. Southwestern Manitoba did see some this morning. Yes, that might be tapering off and clearing out, but another round could be moving into the southwest for later on this afternoon. Who's totally in the clear? Northern Manitoba. What a beautiful day you have in store with high teen temperatures and plenty of sunshine. Northern Manitoba really wins today. We will see that sunshine eventually with those warmer temperatures. 22 degrees is where we're headed today. Pretty close to seasonal. We'll do it again tomorrow with some sunshine to enjoy, but by tomorrow night, some rain again. We need it. This little bit wasn't enough. So another round will kick off the weekend on Saturday. Look what a cool picture this is. How did Hayden manage to get that close with that tongue hang? I don't know, but I love that you did, Hayden, and thank you for sharing this with us. Keep the photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
To mark Vision Health Month, Specsavers Canada is highlighting the common misconceptions when it comes to eye health. Do you remember when you had your last eye exam? See, it's good to keep these things top of mind. Joining me now is Clinical Services Director Naomi Barber. Good morning, Naomi.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So with May marking Vision Health Month, is it a good time to remind folks?
Absolutely. Great question that you asked. When was the last time you had your eyes examined? We undertook a survey actually at Specsavers last year and found that 1 in 3 Canadians are overdue for their eye exam. So it's a really great question to be asking ourselves this month.
Mm-hmm. And are there gaps?
Yeah, absolutely. What we noted through the survey that we undertook is that seniors and children in particular are missing out on regular eye exams. In fact, up to 50% of children are not seeing an optometrist when they should. So it's a great reminder for parents to think about eye health for children, especially as they're beginning school.
So how often should those kids be, and how often should the parents be as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. The Canadian Association of Optometry recommends an annual eye exam for children, and in particular that time just as they're starting school is a really good time to have children's eyes checked. 1 in 4 children when they reach school age can have a vision problem that can affect their learning and development, so it's a critical time period to be seeing an optometrist.
Mm-hmm. And I understand that there's some new technologies that you want people to know about.
Absolutely, yes. So we talk about comprehensive eye exams, and optometrists are really well equipped here in Canada to perform these eye exams. One of the technologies that we use is something called an OCT, and this is a 3D eye scan. This allows an optometrist to see the earliest signs of eye disease well before it progresses and causes vision problems. And this technology is available at Specsavers clinics for anybody and everybody who comes for a comprehensive eye exam. It's a critical tool in early detection of progressing eye conditions.
Naomi, is there anything else before we're out of time you want people to know?
Absolutely. I would just encourage everybody, no matter your age, to think about the last time you had an eye exam and go to specsavers.ca and book an eye exam with your local optometrist. They'll be very glad to see you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great reminders.
Thank you.
Ever seen a baby aardvark? Well, you're about to. Womble was born last month at the Chester Zoo in the UK. It's just the second aardvark born at the zoo in its 94-year history. Aardvarks are nocturnal, which means late nights for zookeepers who are pitching in to care for Womble. They'll find out later if Womble is a boy or a girl. And by the way, The Wombles is a UK children's show about creatures that live underground. Crowds have lined the streets of Kerala, India for a colorful parade. Not just any parade, an elephant parade. The annual parade sees colorfully decorated elephants paraded along with their human friends playing percussion instruments. Elephants are revered by people of the Hindu faith. The god Ganesha is worshipped as the god of knowledge, wisdom, and good fortune. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Today's code word is spend. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter spend with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck.
I look outside, it's 10 degrees with those strong winds, which will likely get even stronger yet out of the south at the moment. They're gusting to 38 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity is sitting at 69%. Not much to see anymore. The rain has moved off. It's moving now, though, into areas just to the north, to the east, and you can still see how much activity is there. Anytime it's showing up in the brighter colors, the reds, the oranges, yellows, and then even those little white lightning bolts firing off, that's indicative of still some storms passing through, and that's what's happening through areas just to the north, just to the east of us. Well, actually, considerably to the north of us, not just to the east. And southern Manitoba, meanwhile, is starting to see that activity taper off. So perhaps it woke you up last night, but now it's all coming to an end. And for northern Manitoba, you've not had a thing to worry about, waking up to beautiful sunny conditions that you'll enjoy throughout the day. We'll eventually get to enjoy some of that sunshine here in the south. With a high of 22 degrees, seasonal temperatures are waiting for us, but that wind will be increasing up to 60 kilometers per hour. We just don't seem to be able to catch a break from that wind, so stronger through the afternoon. However, it will be tapering off overnight. And after the sky clears, just a few clouds are expected through the overnight hours. As we drop down to 11 degrees, we'll have a 20K wind in place. Tomorrow, warming up again, but that breeze increasing again, and still 50K winds are expected out of the southeast. Now, 22 degrees tomorrow with some sunshine, but by tomorrow night, another round of precipitation. It's been dry, though. We welcome it. We'll get that likely overnight, but lingering into Saturday. And Saturday could also come with some slightly cooler below seasonal temperatures. 21 degrees is normal, but we'll be surpassing that with the sunshine returning on Sunday and a little heat wave waiting for us. Low 30 temperatures expected to kick things off next week.
There's a new plan for an historic building in Brandon.
They're pretty monumental in the Brandon scene.
Blackbird Housing has purchased the Mackenzie Seeds building along with its neighbor for $3.25 million. The plan is to create 130 residential units, each with sensors to detect falls and heart rate monitors, along with healthcare, support services, and common space intended for seniors. The $20 million project is a partnership between Blackbird and several technology companies which are developing systems to help with the construction, including laser scanning.
Do is create like a digital twin of the buildings to within millimeters of accuracy. So from there, we can, check the structural integrity of the building. That'll help with engineering reports.
Blackbird's president says the buildings have already been gutted during past projects that fell through. So much of the artifacts from Mackenzie Seeds is already gone. The exceptions are a spiral staircase to the clock and a concrete seed bin on the 7th floor, which are too difficult to remove. While there's no timeline for completion yet, Blackbird hopes to begin construction on the project by the end of the year. A federal agency is reporting an increase in complaints about maple washing. It's when retailers and producers try to make their products appear to be 100% Canadian made or grown to appeal to the Buy Canadian movement. Here's CTV's Abigail Beeman.
tend to look for origin on what you buy?
Yes, I do. I try to get Canadian.
Trade tensions with the U.S. have many shoppers looking to buy Canadian where possible, and they tell us they don't appreciate attempts to maple wash.
People are trying to sort of vote with their dollars when it comes to what they want international policy to be.
It's not fair. It's not right. I want to know where it's coming from.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says complaints about maple washing are on the rise, 400 since the start of 2025 when the trade war heated up.
Classic situations of false representations or misleading advertising.
Joey Zukran is one of the lawyers behind a yet-to-be-certified class action lawsuit taking aim at a string of stores with examples like a maple leaf beside a can of soup that says product of USA and tomatoes advertised as a product of Canada that say product of Mexico.
The allegations in the lawsuit are clear that this was done to attract or touch on the sensitivity that many Canadians have shopping, especially in these times.
Not all products at Canadian grocery stores are even required to have their country of origin listed. There's no official logo for Made in Canada, and according to the CFIA's own website, a maple leaf on a product doesn't necessarily mean it's Canadian.
We need stronger penalties. We need greater enforcement.
In addition to consumer confusion, this entrepreneur lecturer says maple washing is unfair to Canadian suppliers who can lose business in the process.
Some kind of a certification mechanism would help.
Of the big retailers, only Sobeys and Loblaw responded to a CTV News request by deadline. Both acknowledged some isolated incidents they say they worked quickly to fix. Loblaw companies were slapped with 2 of the 7 fines the CFIA handed out. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Here's the current traffic situation now along the St. James Bridge. Things are moving quite well this Thursday morning. We have no issues to tell you about in this part of the city. Now, here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.76. It's a small drop from yesterday's amount. And the lowest price in the city is $1.60, found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We want to know what's your opinion about the time change. Susan shared, I hope we can keep it. Unc D says, I think ditch the time change, so more time for fishing, my happy place. Judy would like to keep the fast time all the time. Pat dreamed and wished for it to stop. It's way too hard on one's physical well-being. Kim would love to see the time change dropped in Manitoba. In her opinion, all provinces should be all at the same time. Isabella thinks we should leave the time at daylight saving time. Dale says standard time. Summers in Manitoba have long summer hours to enjoy. Make our time match across Western Canada, shared a viewer. Leave it as it is, which is daylight savings in the summer, another viewer's opinion. And for Kent, leave time change the way it is, spring forward, fall back. Shelley says continue with time change, spring forward, fall back. Calvin says leave it the same, but if going permanently, then go with daylight savings. Permanent daylight saving is the time for one viewer. Elaine shared stay on daylight saving time, think about sports, games, etc. Jody's opinion, hopefully it stops, causes a lot of lost sleep and takes a couple of weeks to adjust. And for today's, it doesn't matter if we keep permanent daylight time or permanent standard time, just abandon time change. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
Let's go now to Ainsley, who's been telling us about Habitat for Humanity throughout the morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, we've braved the wind, we've braved the rain, and we've braved the cold. But it's so rewarding when you get to come to a Habitat build. The CEO of Habitat Manitoba joins us now, Jamie Hall. Where are we standing exactly right now?
We are standing in the last of 11 fiveplexes that we're building on Pandora Avenue West. 55 homes. Once this building is completed, we'll be home to 55 families. 275 people will be living here. We already have 35 families moved in, so we're really excited that we're actually building the last structure now.
And we've said it over and over again. This is the largest build. This is the largest build. But that's just words. What does it take behind the scenes?
Well, it's It's an amazing community coming together. We have our construction staff, our volunteer leaders who give us time, make a commitment throughout the build season, and then every day from Tuesday to Friday we have team builds coming out, and we're thrilled to have Qualico out today as a team build. So just think of the numbers. If we've got 20s and 50s coming out every single day over 3 years now to build this, and then we have homeowners that are coming and putting in their sweat equity and helping to build. So it really is rewarding to see a community coming together to build something as big as this.
Mm-hmm. And affordability is such an issue in this country, in this province, but you get to see families, real families, moving in locally. What does that mean to you?
Well, it is amazing that we can offer an affordable home ownership solution, and affordability is in every news story, it seems, these days, whether it is gas prices or groceries. But housing is one of the biggest costs that we have in our lives, and to be part of a solution for a hardworking family to move from rental into true home ownership and set that generational foundation that their kids can have a more secure, more stable life moving forward is just rewarding to be able to do that, and here to do it 55 times.
Mm-hmm. The next build, Panet, an older Manitoba housing structure. Tell us about that.
Sure. So on Panet Avenue, we were very grateful for the province to give us a piece of land there that was former Manitoba housing that we're now building 10 duplexes. So 20 families will call that home soon. So we have one is completed already. The family moved in last year. The second one, possession for 2 families sometime this summer. And then we're building 4 that we're pouring foundations for. So we're working on that over the summer.
Oh, that's so, it truly warms your heart. Rochelle, a girl about 7th grade, came up to Kenny and I, ran out of the house, and she said, like, she's already living here, and she said, oh, I've been watching you guys since kindergarten.
Aww.
So she's still watching now.
Oh, that's so
Hi,
great.
but just this is what it's about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go up to the rooftop now. It looks like it's brightening up out there.
It really is brightening up out here. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of clouds, but there's pockets where that sun is shining right through, and I think you'll be needing those sunglasses before too long. You'll also be ditching the raincoat. I probably don't need it anymore. I mean, it stopped raining. I just didn't bring another jacket. I'll be looking like the fool walking home when the sun is shining. They're like, why is she wearing a raincoat? Well, you only need to look at the puddles left behind to know it was needed at one point. It's 10 degrees right now. A bit of a breeze increasing with those winds out of the south are gusting to 38 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 69%. Yeah, the raincoat no longer needed. The umbrella, well, I don't know if the umbrella was ever necessary. I mean, I used it. And to be fair, the winds did lighten up for a little while, but those winds would be too strong to be using an umbrella now at this point. I'll just take flight, have a little Mary Poppins moment. Those storms are moving out through central Manitoba. Areas just to the north of us are seeing all of that activity. And as it continues to push further north, the sky will clear. But it's never going to reach the northern part of the province. That'll actually remain clear and quite sunny today with some really pleasant temperatures. Nearly everybody around the province will be back to what is normal for your area. And on the other side of the weekend, we've got some heat coming our way. But today and tomorrow, seasonal temperatures. Tomorrow night, another round of rain. We'll welcome it. Still dry. We need it. Into Saturday, we'll begin the weekend with some slightly cooler temperatures. But by Sunday, we're back up in the mid-20s, and low 30s could be moving in for us in the early part of next week. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome back. Organized crime groups are targeting people with access to your luggage at Canada's largest airport. Here's what W5's Avery Haynes uncovered in an exclusive investigation.
When you go to the airport, you know the drill. Body scans, x-rays, and searches of your carry-on. But whistleblowers warn security needs to be tightened for the employees who have access to your bags and airplanes.
I've been stopped once in 20 years leaving, so if somebody gets a hold of something, they're gone with it.
Charles is a ramp worker at Pearson. He has a joke you might not find funny.
We say, yeah, you can walk out carrying a cruise missile, nobody even stop you.
Through court documents and police sources, we've identified a United Nations of organized crime groups operating at Pearson, using some airport workers to move drugs off planes and onto Toronto streets. Dieter Boheim is a retired police inspector who was also part of Toronto's airport intelligence unit.
People that work at the airport, there is corruption involved in getting the cocaine into Canadian borders.
The Canadian Air Transport Security Authority, CATSA, says screening employees leaving work is not part of their mandate, that screening happens at entry points. But we've identified issues there as well. We've documented at least 16 cases in the past year where corrupt employees have been able to get bags of drugs into secure areas at Pearson and then swap bag tags from innocent passengers.
What I don't understand is how they get it in.
Yan and Charlene in Winnipeg were detained at Pearson when a bag with 33 kilos of marijuana was discovered with Yan's tag attached to it.
These suitcases were huge. How would, like, a baggage handler get suitcases into the back? Because don't they go through security?
Yan was eventually released after showing this home surveillance video to prove the bag he checked looked nothing like the bag filled with drugs. Retired RCMP investigator Ulysses Botello worked for a unit called SIBS, the Security Intelligence Background Section. It was his job to weed out corrupt airport workers.
How big of a problem do you think corruption is at Canadian airports?
It's huge. And if we're unable to dampen that component that is facilitating organized crime, we're in big trouble.
In the last year, 6 ramp and baggage workers at Pearson have been arrested on bag tag switching charges. Avery Haynes, CTV News, Toronto.
They call Manitoba the gateway to the north, but South Beach Casino and Resort, it's the gateway to fun. I am joined by Tick, who's going to tell us all about it. And it's not just a casino. There's so many more amenities people could take advantage of.
That's true. Of course, South Beach Casino and Resort's been here just over 21 years now. In the last couple years, we'd added some extra conference and meeting facilities, which is something that is very popular. We host a lot of different communities doing their regular meetings, or maybe their small towns are having a gathering, or just businesses and different people who want to get away and maybe make it a meeting or like a 2-day experience where they can enjoy the casino and the resort as well. 95 hotel rooms. Just recently, we fixed some areas and put in a beautiful hot tub and a nice sauna room. And we got a beautiful pool area that people just seem to love, and of course the casino floor. But I do really need to emphasize on food. We have great executive chef, Garen. He's unbelievable. We have great sous chefs. And people come here and they just realize, like, hey, this is a casino. This is a great resort, but I really love the food.
What's your favorite? Now I have to know.
Well, it's funny because there's so many good favorites. It's something that people like. Everyone's got their choice, but also the chefs, what they like to do on a regular basis, not too frequent, because people like change, some people don't. They kind of upgrade the menu, and it's something for everybody. If you're a chicken lover, a beef lover, an appetizer lover, pasta. I love the soups. I'm a soup person. The soups are always great. But people come and dine. Enjoy the casino. I can say we do special events like Mother's Day. Mother's Day was extremely busy. We had our specialty Mom's Day brunch, and people love that. Friday and Saturday nights are our Palms restaurant buffets, which are very, very popular. Live entertainment in the Blue Dolphin Bar every Friday and Saturday night, being a long weekend, Sunday night coming up. And yeah, it's something for everybody. If you're a person who loves the casino floor, great. If you're a person who likes entertainment, we got it. You love food, got it. Beautiful resort to enjoy. You want to relax, get away. At South Beach Casino and Resort, we kind of have it all.
So this is my takeaway. You don't have to like to gamble when you come to the casino.
Well, no, but we like when you gamble.
Of course you do.
We love when you gamble when you come to the casino. We love that. But it's just something else we added was our concert series. And it's like, these are shows. We have a Huey Lewis one coming up, tribute. We do tribute shows through a local promoter. And these attract people, a lot of new people, right? It's like, hey, I've never been out there. I got to check it out. They come, they love the show. They love the gaming floor because they like to gamble, and they love the food, and hopefully they tell their friends and they make a repeat visit.
Thank you so much. You know what, Tick? I'm here for the team building.
I'm here for the sunshine, which we'll see more of as the day goes on. It's 10 degrees right now. A little bit of that sun peeking out from behind the clouds. A bit of a breeze to go with it, though. Those winds are out of the south up to 38 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 69%. Earlier this morning, it was the rain. There you can see that activity still on the satellite image. But the darkest is the band where that rain is actually falling. The lighter, that's just some moisture in the air. But where that darker rain is falling is now through central Manitoba, moving a little bit further north of the city. Further north, that's where the sun will be shining brightly today and things will be looking good. Today and tomorrow, seasonal temperatures or close to it, 22 degrees. Dropping off on Saturday, but only briefly. We've probably got another round of precipitation Friday night into Saturday. Look at this, though. I've been waiting for this. Low 30 temperatures. Maybe that's going to be a little bit warm. It will be somewhat excessive compared to a seasonal 21. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
Before we send you off for the day, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with a cool tribute to the band The Killers. Group of guys known as the Beat Street Drummers from New Zealand are proving that when you're this talented, all you need is a bucket and some drumsticks. Pretty impressive. Very cool. Now to a perfect example. You scared me. Now to a perfect example of social media versus reality.
One, two, three, go down.
Lainey was hoping she'd look like the woman in the first video, swimming gracefully with a whale shark. But instead, to the surprise of her partner and possibly the shark, she was flailing around like a drowning frog. It was a memorable moment, nonetheless. Not as graceful.
I would not
Still
be
cool,
comfortable
though.
hanging out in that water.
No, freaky. And then finally, proof that anti-life is the best life. Watch as Carly's nephews go from bored to pure excitement when they finally spot her driving up. They're so happy to see her. This video has gone viral with 118 million views, making her the proudest auntie ever. That's so sweet. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.